Today, we are digging into the story of the world's great ancient monuments. But what if the story you think you know is actually wrong? We're about to uncover a tale of two completely different worlds, hidden in plain sight, one built for the living and the other for the divine dead. All right, let's just jump right in with a simple question. When you picture the very first truly massive structures built by humanity, what pops into your head? I'm gonna bet it's this, the Great Pyramids of Giza. I mean, they're the icon of ancient ambition, a symbol of a powerful civilization building for eternity. And yeah, they're unbelievably old. But are they the oldest? Nope, not even close, actually. The answer we all learn in school turns out it's just plain wrong. The real answer is hiding right here, in the Washita River Valley of North America. These simple-looking earthen mounds at a place called Watson Break, well, they predate the first stone pyramid in Egypt by nearly 1,000 years. And that one fact completely flips our understanding of the ancient world on its head. So let's untangle this timeline, because figuring out who came first isn't just trivia. It actually changes our entire idea of how complex societies can even get started. Just look at the rhythm of construction here. In the Washita Valley, you see this long, sustained tradition that goes on for thousands of years. But in Egypt, the Great Pyramid Age is this incredibly concentrated flash, a spectacular burst of activity that really just peaks and then fades in a few centuries. And let this number sink in for a second. 900 years. That is the time separating the first mounds in Louisiana from the first great stone building in Egypt. That's a huge, huge gap in human history. And this right here is the kicker. The people who built Watson Break were hunter-gatherers. This just shatters that old theory that you need farming, you need a big, powerful state to build anything on this scale. They proved it was possible without any of that. So, how in the world did two totally different cultures end up building such a similar shape? Well, the answer starts with the ground right under their feet, the very landscapes of earth and stone that shaped their world. You've got two completely different blueprints for a civilization. On one hand, in North America, you have this vast, wet, forested world, just rich with resources everywhere. So the obvious building material? Earth. But in Egypt, you have the linear oasis of the Nile, this thin ribbon of life in a massive desert of stone. The logical choice there? Quarrying all that stone. And that difference in what they built with led to a huge difference in the human engine required to actually build it. It wasn't just about materials, but how they organized people to get the job done. Okay, this is the core social difference. The mounds, they represent a bottom-up community model. People came together, probably for seasonal gatherings or rituals, and they built these things cooperatively. Egypt, on the other hand, was a top-down command model. You had a divine pharaoh, basically a god on earth, who commanded a massive state bureaucracy to get the labor and resources for his project. I mean, think about the technology here. Building a mound was, in a way, democratic. Anybody could dig up some dirt, fill a 50-pound basket, carry it, and dump it. The process itself was a communal act, something that reinforced the bonds of the group with every single basket load. But building a pyramid? That was a full-blown industry. It required all this specialized, secret knowledge, how to quarry multi-ton blocks of granite, the complex logistics of barging them hundreds of miles down the Nile, and the incredible engineering to ramp them into place. This whole process reinforced the state's hierarchy every step of the way. And that brings us to what is maybe the most profound difference of them all. Why were they even built? The answer reveals two completely different ways of looking at the world. You know, when archaeologists look at sites like Watson Break, they find no burials in the mounds. Instead, they're covered in the debris of everyday life, cooking fires, the remains of homes, workshop areas. The mounds were platforms for the living community, literally elevating their daily lives in the here and now. The pyramids, though, they had one crystal-clear purpose. They were tombs. They were these elaborate resurrection machines designed to protect the body of a single divine king and act as his personal gateway to the afterlife, making sure cosmic order was maintained forever. So really, it all comes down to this. Mounds were active stages for the ongoing drama of human society.
Pyramids were static vessels, a private gateway for one divine soul to travel to eternity. Okay, let's pull all these threads together. We've got two completely different cultures, separated by an ocean and nearly 1,000 years, and they're building things that look kind of similar. So, why does unpacking this difference really matter?
Well, for starters, the shape is basically a red herring. It's just a coincidence of physics. A pyramid or a cone is simply the most stable way you can pile up loose material, whether that's dirt or stone blocks. It's a solution that physics dictates, not culture.
So behind those similar shapes are profoundly different stories. You could call it a case of convergent forms, but completely divergent worlds. Two totally different ideas about what it even means to be human.
And these are the two paths. The mounds, they prove that monumentality can grow from the bottom up, out of community cooperation. The pyramids show the top-down path, where it's an expression of immense state power. And that proves there is no single ladder of human progress everyone has to climb. Which really just leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The story of the mounds and pyramids forces us to challenge our assumptions, and it makes you ask, how many other great human achievements, in art, in technology, in society, grew from completely different roots than the ones we've always been taught? What other stories are just waiting for us right beneath the surface?